I have a very special guest with me today, our top producer, David Crowell from our Hilton Head Island, South Carolina branch. David, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for the invitation.
Um, so why don't we start off with you just telling us a little bit about how you got started in the mortgage industry, how long you've been in the industry, kind of that backstory there.
Back in the late 70s and into the late 80s, I owned a major construction company, major enough so that it needed its own financing entity. And at that point, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, at that point in history, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac were just making inroads into the countryside, signing contracts with small savings and loans and small credit unions. And we made a deal, and we actually ended up hiring the New England rep for Fannie Mae as the head of our new little financial entity. And I hired Kirk Todd as one of our first employees. Some of you listening to this will know who he is. He was a young guy just out of college, and that was the beginning. It was as a service component to a building company, and it was fascinating, very successful. And then later on, when the building company was finished and gone in the Great Recession of the Great Savings and Loan Crisis, all the banks went broke basically in 1986, 87, 88. The mortgage network was just forming, and in 1988 I joined mortgage 1996. I joined Mortgage Network as a loan officer. I went to see Bob McGinnis and said to Bob and Alan, I said, I'm moving down to South Carolina. I'll start Mortgage Network down in South Carolina for you. And they said, fine, but we can't afford to give you any support whatsoever. And I said, that's fine. And the next week I sent them a loan, and then the week after that I sent them another loan, and the rest is history. And we grew at the height of COVID. We did $850 million worth of business in South Carolina. So it was huge success over the next 25 years. And then Mortgage Network was sold to Movement Mortgage, just a corporate level event, not of our choosing. And as soon as we were able to do so, we went looking for a new partner. And the South Carolina team joined North Point Mortgage, which is where we are today. And that's a long, windy answer to a short question.
No, it's good to hear that whole backstory, because even though I've worked with you for going on 14 years, I didn't even know part of that. So it's always good to know. What's something that you know now that you wish you had known when you first became a loan officer? Or a few things.
I think that this is 30 years later. So I think more than anything, the importance of remaining very borrower focused and one-on-one borrower focused. You can basically take all of the sophisticated apparatus and all of the apps and all of the wonderful things that IT has done for us for the last 30 years, and pretty much toss them out the window, because the actual effort of creating a loan and doing a good job for the borrower is basically the same as it was 30 years ago. All of the technology has really given us very little. It has made the back end much more sophisticated, and the execution and the ability to sell loans much more sophisticated. But creating the loans, the sausage making that goes into the relationship with the client, is the same today as it was 30 years ago. And I think I wasted a lot of time along the way worrying about lots of stuff I shouldn't have been worried about. So, so I'm back to roots, basically. And I think, you know, a corollary of that is just that the borrower is complex. The borrower's situation is complex. Their goals and hopes and dreams, their fears and doubts and insecurities, they're all unique, each one of them. And the mortgage industry has a nefarious secret objective, and that is to take this complex person, to take strawberry fudge ripple and convert it into vanilla. Because vanilla is what you're able to sell on the secondary market to Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, or to any other investor. And of course, that's an impossible task. That's in pre-Renaissance times, that would be called alchemy. So what we really are is alchemists. A good loan officer keeps their eye on the fact that there is no magic, there is no way really to convert a strawberry fudge ripple client into a vanilla client. So even though that's what we're asked to do, so somehow I go in the next room and out comes the vanilla client. And in 30 years, the technology really hasn't changed that at all. Yeah.
So what would you say has been the most effective way you've built your client base?
Basically by affirming the relationship all the way through. It's what's the oldest sales technique in the world? It's to say something, to assert something, to say it again, and then tell them you said it. So you say it again, and tell them you said it. So, Emily, it's nice to be here with you today. Did I tell you that it was nice to be here with you today? Emily, in conclusion, I really enjoyed being with you here today. I mean, it's saying it again, telling them you said it. We came together, Emily, to make a mortgage so that you could move your life forward, so that you could achieve this and that objective. And I'm so happy to have been a part of that. And every 6 months for the rest of your life, I'm going to be in touch with you to remind you how wonderful our time together was. Because if I do that, then sooner or later you're going to believe it. and you're going to tell every one of your friends and every one of your relatives and every one of your work partners that David Crowell's the best guy in the world. And partly it's because David Crowell really is, but mostly it's because David Crowell says he is over and over again. So, yeah, there it is. And
it works.
It works.
It obviously works.
And that was the answer to your question. How do you do it? I mean, you just, when we write a loan for somebody, we change their lives. It's a life-changing thing. They're moving jobs, they're moving relationships, they're getting divorced, they're having extra children, they're doing really important stuff. We're part of something really important. We can play a secretarial role in that really important event, or we can be part of the event. You know, we can, you know,
The memorable part of that event.
that's correct.
Yeah.
And that's partly just saying so. I'm really happy to have been a part of you getting married. I'm really happy to have been a part of you getting divorced from that son of a gun, you know? You know, so it's part of it is just embracing it and really making yourself a part of it. Yeah.
And you've been very successful at it, so.
Mhm.
I'm sure there's many, but can you share a story about a particular memorable or meaningful loan that you've closed? Of the
There's,
hundreds a year you do.
yeah, it's tough. I mean, there's, you know, at this point, there's like 20,000 loans. So, I really can't pick one out in that way. I'll tell you a funny one. I'll tell you a funny one.
We like that too.
Who was the famous quarterback for the Cincinnati Bengals?
Oh
Uh,
boy, I don't
uh,
know non-Patriots players. But
Basically, he was the a really important guy in football world, and I'm not part of football world. I write mortgages all the time, so I write mortgages on Sunday afternoons. Okay, so and this guy was in in whatever it is in the postseason, one of the important, like the
playoff games.
semifinals, playoffs. That's what they're called. He was in the playoffs. He's the quarterback, and he broke his leg in the first quarter, and that was big, huge news across the United States of America, and big, huge news for him. And he was in the midst of writing a loan with me, uh, and I called him on Sunday afternoon in the middle of the football game, and for a piece of paperwork or for the answer to a question of some sort. He called back Tuesday, 2 or 3 days after the game. This was on a Sunday game, yeah. And he said, "David, are you even vaguely aware of what I do for a living?" And he was like the, you know, one of the most famous guys in the country. And I said, "Why? What do you mean?" And he said, "Well, you called me in the middle of the game, in the middle of the playoffs," and 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 he was laughing. He wasn't angry or anything. He just thought it was hilarious that I was such a mortgage nerd that I had missed that, and everybody in the office was completely appalled that, because they, of course, everybody in the office knew that this famous guy had broken his leg in the middle of the playoffs. And yeah, so that's a funny one. Yeah.
It is. You were busy working, you know, on his loan, which is
Yeah,
great.
right. What's important here? Playoffs or a loan?
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
What advice do you have for someone just starting out in the mortgage industry?
That's easy. I have several loan officers who I've raised from the beginning, and I believe that somebody starting off in the mortgage industry needs to sit at the hip of somebody who's successful in the mortgage industry. And so you literally need to be as on my right hip, because I'm left-handed. So it would get in the way if you sat on the left. So you sit 12 inches away, looking at what I'm looking at, listening to who I'm talking to, all day long, every day. Every time I finish a phone call, I give you a task to follow up on that comes from that phone call or comes from that meeting. And you do that for 2.5 years, and you're a successful loan officer. Because a lot of it is about systems and data and just hard knowledge, but a lot of it is the interaction and how to handle situations and the stuff that I talked about earlier. So Aaron Benton and Ethan Lane and all of these guys just had their success being raised from the beginning. Yeah.
Yeah, it's important to have a good mentor.
But a mentor from scratch is
Yes.
the best
Yeah.
way to do it.
Yeah. No bad habits to have to break there.
Right. And just understanding what the loan business really is all about. Just being able to just talk with someone about. I mean, money is. I think money is more difficult than all the other embarrassing topics. I can.
Yeah.
I in the
It's
middle
so
of
personal.
yeah, it's so personal, and it's every day, and it's all day, and it's and you carry with you the financial DNA from your parents and your home and financial struggles that went on there, and money is not easy stuff for most people. So we have a lot to bring to the party to humanize that and to make it manageable.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
What trends in the mortgage industry are you keeping an eye on right now?
The major one is AI. I think AI is more interesting than the last, as you can kind of get a sense from the earlier answer. I think AI is instantly more interesting than the 30 years of technological advance that I have experienced. That 30 years of technological advance basically has got us nowhere. The mortgage a mortgage file over these 30 years today costs about $3,000 of overhead to produce a file. It's expensive. It's 15 hands. It's an amazing amount of data and detail and so forth and so on. And we really haven't. The sausage making hasn't gotten any easier. So I think that 30 years, in an instant, has been wiped out by AI in the last 6 months. And I think over the next couple of years, AI is going to revolutionize the mortgage business. I think it's going to look completely different. What I feel wonderful about is that the David Crowells are going to be, if anything, more important than before, because the entire energy and focus will be on the human interface, which in this interview I've described in various different ways. But that human interface is going to be the whole ballgame. It's going to be almost like, putting hand to forehead, forehead to forehead. That human interface is going to be huge. AI is going to take care of everything else. There's going to be no figuring out loan programs, no figuring out loan pricing, none of it. No figuring out what the appropriate docs are. I'm going to it's going to be, it's going to be fascinating, and it's going to happen fast, and it's not going to take 30 years. It's going to take a year. Yeah, yeah. So I just hope that I'm right, that Emily, you are one of the ones who remains needed, and I'm one of the ones that remain needed. I think so. I think so.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, and I think that's everybody's hesitation with AI right now, right? Like anything new, it's,
Mhm.
what are the pros and cons? What is this going to
Mhm.
actually look like? So, no,
Mhm.
I'm with you. I'm fascinated to see
Mhm.
both good and bad what comes of it. So,
Mhm. 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 Mhm.
so switching gears just a little bit. I know you've only been with I know you've only been with North Point for 8 months now, 9 months now. But what do you feel sets North Point apart from other lenders?
Um, the the North Point, I can say several positive things, uh, and still found no negatives. The positive things are, I believe, even in a corporate environment, even in a complex corporate environment, such as is needed to create a mortgage loan, 15 sets of hands, lots of sausage making, very definite, uh, very definite strategic risks the whole way along. How to be competitive in the marketplace and keep a client in place. How to meet that client's needs in a human way. How to make a product that really converts strawberry fudge ripple into vanilla so that it can be sold to Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac successfully and profitably. I mean, this is all very, very complicated. I've always maintained that to be successful in the mortgage industry, you need to have a small posse of people that you depend on, and at Movement Mortgage, we had thousands of people. I still needed only a posse of 5 or 6 people to depend on. At Mortgage Network, we had several hundred people. I needed a posse of only 5 or 6 people. And here at North Point, the posse of 5 or 6 people is readily identifiable, easy to find, and they already know that they're already waving their hands and saying, "Hey, I volunteer to be part of the posse." So it's you don't have to fight to find good people. You don't have to work through endless committees and departments to find good people. Um, the first person you bump into is a nice person, and my God, after 3 or 4 weeks, there's a dozen nice people. 4 or 5 of them have command of enough information and enough talent to be the posse. That's the end of it. I don't need anybody else. I don't and can be the #1 loan officer in the country. I don't really need more than 5 people. It's just give me the right 5 people. But that yeah, and North Point is at a lovely point in its growth, so that it it has only high quality, highly interactive, productive people. There's no hierarchy really. There's no. I mean, there's entry level people, but but really anybody who's got an identifiable job is on an equal footing with anybody else with an identifiable job. There's no hierarchy. So it's that's the really positive part of it. It was very hard, and a big movement was a really fine company, but it broke all these many pieces of the sausage making into layers and layers and layers of structure, which made a difficult job more difficult in my view. Um,
So now for the last part of this interview, we're gonna just have a little fun. We're gonna do some rapid fire, kind of this or that style questions. Coffee or tea?
Coffee,
I feel like everyone in this industry is gonna say coffee, but are you an early bird or a night owl?
early,
What pizza or tacos?
tacos.
What is your favorite book?
Oh, uh, War and Peace.
Um, what is your favorite way to unwind after a long day?
Read.
Me too. Um, what is your favorite band?
Rolling Stones.
What is one thing that people would be surprised to learn about you?
That I've been sober for 38 years.
Didn't know it was that long, so congratulations.
I had my entire share prior to that. My entire lifetime share.
Well,
Also,
fair.
I stole about 3 other people's lifetime shares as well. So,
Okay, you came out on the right end of it.
yeah,
So.
that's right. Yeah.
And just lastly, to wrap this up, if you weren't a loan officer, what would you be doing?
Be teaching at a college or university.
I can see that. I mean, a bunch of us still call you professor anyway, so that definitely makes sense.
Yeah. All right.
Well, thank you so much again for joining us, and yeah, thank you for sharing your knowledge.
All right. Thank you, Emily.